That's all for this episode of N3.
Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget, tune in next time.
Hey everyone, I'm still Gabe.
And I'm still Damon. Can you believe that was 166 days ago?
Well, with all those Zoom meetings, it felt more like 1600.
After filming a couple of episodes from home last year, here we are, in the flesh, back for N3.
And without further ado, the Northwest football team is our first feature on our N3 Fall Sports Preview.
To start off this year's 2020 football season, we talked with one of our newest Viking transfers and covered changes from his previous school and his objectives leading up to this year's season.
First of all, there's a lot more people, a lot better environment, I'd say, and everyone works a lot harder too. Showing up to weights every day, and then football after weights, working hard at that.
Not every player had only expectations for the team, but for themselves as well. 4 of our Viking players touch base on goals and expectations they are looking to see this year.
Be a leader on both sides of the ball, helping the young guys out that are playing. Hopefully to win state this year.
Looking to get good grades and hoping to have a good football season this year. It's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, I worked hard all summer with my teammates on the field, throwing routes and just working hard, and all of them are prepared as well.
I'd say like the biggest thing for us is just to get a good seed for the playoffs, so that puts us in a successful position for us to go deep into the state tournament and win that state title.
While still being early in the season and just getting out of summer routine, the full swing of things are coming together. Finding weaknesses is a step they are looking to overcome now.
Things in practice I think that could be better are our intensity and just overall effort sometimes could be better.
Staying motivated with the guys, getting better every day that we're able to be with each other, and just weightlifting and practicing and throwing in the mornings and just doing everything that we could.
Having more leaders and just coming more as together and having more team bonding and just working together and having a great season.
With the pandemic hitting us in early March, 3 Viking players filled us in on how it affected them in their season.
I mean, it slowed us down a little bit at the start of March when it happened, and now us getting back in, we're a little behind, but we managed to overcome it and still work together and get things done.
We haven't been able to be together until practices started a couple weeks ago, but we were pretty successful in doing everything in the weight room and stuff, and just being together whenever we can has been good.
There's going to be a lot of hardships that our team's going to have to go through and a lot of guidelines that we're going to have to follow, but if we all just follow those guidelines, I think that our team, as long as all the other teams in the state, will be able to play.
Good luck to our great group of football players this season. The Viking community will look forward to seeing you guys in action this fall.
1, 2, 3, go!
Isn't the goal of a football game for the person with the ball to socially distance as much as possible?
Yeah, it is. And now we'll take a look at our tennis team.
Northwest doesn't sponsor a tennis team, but athletes from Northwest who wish to play can co-op with Central Catholic.
Okay, let's look at the Northwest portion of the Central Catholic tennis team then.
Northwest does not currently have a tennis team, so instead they co-op with Grand Island Central Catholic.
It's a lot more interesting because here I thought I already know all the people here, but once you go to another school, you start completely fresh and you don't know anybody, so it's just different that way.
It's a little bit different. You don't have your buddies that you're playing with a lot unless they're playing tennis, but it's pretty fun. You get to meet a lot of new people.
When co-oping with another school, it's important to set personal goals as well as goals for the entire team.
For myself, I'm trying to make varsity and always improve on my game, but for the team, it's always been win state.
The goal always is to win state, especially for the team, but my goal this year is just to improve.
While in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the way that the team practices and plays has had to be slightly altered.
When we pick up balls at the end, we have to space out and sometimes wear masks. And whenever we gather around for a pep talk, we have to space out.
Can't give your teammates more of the physical encouragement. We have to space out during stuff, so that's kind of sucks.
Even though practices have already started, the tennis team is always looking for new members.
That tennis is a fun sport and you should go out if you want to.
You can also be there to show your support on August 28th at Ryder Park at 9 a.m. for their first match. We're wishing the tennis team good luck on the rest of their season.
I want to know how many times dogs have come and ruined tennis practice.
Probably 34.
Okay then. Bringing things back inside now, the volleyball team is excited to get things off the ground. See what I did there?
COVID-19 has impacted the way the volleyball team prepared for their upcoming season during the summer. As a result, practices look differently than they have in the past.
Practices look a lot different because of COVID. We have to sanitize our hands before and after practice. We sanitize the balls, and we make sure we keep more spacing in between us than we normally would.
The main things that we have been doing is before we come into practice every day, we hand sanitize, and then at the end of practice, we also hand sanitize. We clean the balls a lot more frequently than we did in the past. And then when it comes to games, we won't actually switch sides of the net. We'll just stay like on the one bench the whole entire game, which is a huge change. The biggest difference will be not knowing if you're going to truly play that game until maybe the day before.
There are a lot of challenges due to Corona, like we don't know when our season may end or if we'll get a season, so we're just making the most of whatever we can get.
Although COVID-19 is still a factor, the volleyball girls are still hopeful for a complete season.
Summer weights were a lot different from last year. You had to get your temperature checked before you could enter. You were in groups of 10, so there were 10 people in each weight room and groups of 10 on the track running, and you couldn't lift with any partners. We did Zoom workouts over the course of quarantine where Coach Harders would Zoom call the whole team and we would do workouts together through Zoom.
Our first true in-person practice was last Monday. It pretty much looked exactly like it has in the past. Biggest thing was when we started, we just had to make sure everybody was hand sanitized. We have to take attendance. We always took attendance, but we actually take it on Family ID now, so that way if we have someone that were to get sick, then we know exactly who was at practice in case we have to take any certain protocols.
Our first game is August 29th, a Saturday, and it's against Ogallala, and it's home.
The goal is to make it the whole season. Obviously, we know that it's going to change day to day, but we just hope we can play the whole entire season, and then our goal is to continue to qualify for state. The big goal that the team has is definitely to win a game down at state.
Filling the role of past seniors is pretty hard because we've had great leadership in the past, but we're just making sure we step up to the plate and know what's going on all the time.
I definitely think our seniors have done a really good job throughout the whole summer of trying to get the girls involved and holding them accountable at weights. I was really impressed with Ellie Apfel and Claire Casperson at our one team camp. They hit the ball really well, and despite not having a lot of reps ahead of time, they connected really well with their setters and had some really good hits.
Good luck to the volleyball team this year. Make sure to come out and show your support through this hard time on Saturday the 29th as they take on Ogallala.
The volleyball team is looking really good this year.
Let's hope they can keep their streak of state tournament appearance going strong.
Absolutely. Moving on now to the diamond, the softball team is up next.
With COVID-19 presenting many setbacks around the world, Northwest Softball had to adapt to continue their season.
How my ideal season looks like with COVID is to go about as well as how it went this summer. We took a lot of precautions while playing that made it possible for us to play the entire summer, so we're hoping that we can have a full season this year and be able to get in all of our games.
Our ideal season with COVID is to be safe about our precautions with COVID and to get all of our games in during the season.
Health is a serious concern during these times. The girls had to add extra steps to their practice procedures.
At practice, some extra procedures would be keeping our distance from each other. We can't really touch each other in any way. We just try to keep our distance.
At practice, some extra procedures that we take as a team is social distancing ourselves from others, and while stretching, we can't have partner stretches. We stretch on our own, and just keeping our distance mainly.
The softball players had to show their sportsmanship in a new way this year on and off the field.
Some new rules are that we have to wear a mask on the bus to get to away games. Parents have to bring their own chair and sit along the fence. It can't really use bleachers. We have to switch out our balls during the game, so we only use our balls and the other team only use their balls.
Some new rules with COVID while playing games is after the game you cannot go through the line and shake hands with your opponent. It all just has to be words. And in the dugout, at some schools we are required to wear masks while we're not on the field.
Along with personal setbacks that came with a global pandemic, the team also had setbacks to handle as a group.
Some setbacks we had was in the winter we could not have off-season practices like we did last year, so we did them on Zoom, which isn't really the same. We couldn't practice with each other. We had to do it by ourselves, which is really difficult for softball. We also couldn't get into the weight room as early as we did last year, so that was a major setback. And other than that, we got to play all summer for softball, so that worked out.
Some major setbacks that we had with COVID this year and delaying our season was our team camp got canceled, so practice is mainly all we have done. In the summer, as being a pitcher, we were not allowed to go to practice and get the help from the coaches. The coaches would send out workouts for us, and we would have to work with our parents, and we would not be able to pitch with our catchers.
Have you ever felt a dinger come off the bat and just know that it was out of the park?
No.
Me neither. That's why I'm sitting here.
Well, I'm sitting here to continue the show. Up next is the girls golf team, fresh off an appearance at state last year.
This season, the girls golf team has been working hard to achieve their goals so they can make it to state. Many returning members have been doing their best to lead the new members so as a team they can place high and shoot low. Much like other activities at Northwest, the girls golf team has been switching up some things due to the coronavirus. Let's see what they do to stay safe.
COVID has affected our season by not allowing scores at state and at district, and also during each meet this season, we will be keeping our own scorecards to stop the spread of germs.
This summer, the Northwest girls golf team has been taking part in student-led practices to motivate each other for this fall season. Let's see how the summer practices went.
There were upperclassmen girls that led practices for the other team members to attend and get that extra practice. And then there were also girls that competed in tournaments just to set themselves up to be more prepared.
Just like any other high school sports team, the girls golf team has a lot of competition. Let's find out who their biggest competitors are.
This upcoming season, we think that York and Hastings will be our biggest competitors.
Hermish explains how the team has improved from last season.
The team has improved from last year to this year because we had a lot more girls more motivated to play this year, so a lot more girls were involved in tournaments over the summer, which just set them up to be a lot more prepared for the season.
Today, August 24th, the golf team has a tournament starting at 9 a.m. Come out to Indian Head to support our golfers.
There are a lot of fall sports. Are we done yet?
Not quite. Let's just say this next group is excited to get things up and running.
Oh.
You know, run, cross country, just run the clip.
After their trip to the Nebraska State meet last year, the Northwest cross country team has a hunger to do it all again. We sat down with seniors Peyton King and Megan Freeman to get their personal outlooks on the upcoming year.
A normal practice week for cross country looks like meeting every Monday, kind of discuss the plan for the week and our goals. And we usually do longer runs earlier in the week and a harder workout mid to late week, which is usually during the season, our race days.
A normal practice week for cross country is usually in the beginning of the week. We do a lot of basic mileage and stuff, like 5 to 6 miles, and then towards the end of the week we do a lot of workouts on the track or in the country.
I continued working by myself a little bit, running on my own each day, getting times in, getting miles in. And then as things started to ease up a bit, I started calling up some buddies and running in smaller groups, and then which flowed right into practice, so it didn't affect us much.
I tried getting up every day and going on runs, and it kind of depends on how I was feeling with how long I did run. I don't really think the shortage will affect the team just because of the hard workouts that we've done and all the work that we have put in this year.
Well, we had about 5 or 6 seniors last year, which is almost our entire varsity squad. So it's going to be a lot different this year, but I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. Not many teams know what we got because we got a pretty young squad this year, but I'm looking forward to it.
As a team, I think he's pushing us a lot harder than we did last year with workouts and even warm-up. And the team bonding is also a big aspect of that, and we all have got to know each other better.
Something that we've done differently this year based on previous years is probably more of a team aspect. In past years, we've kind of just been go, 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 and we haven't really slowed down and tried to like connect and build a culture around it, but we're starting to do that now, which is nice. Filling shoes again was Caden Keller. He stepped up a lot last year. He's going to be really good for us this year. Jacob Kaminsky's proved a lot over the years. He's going to be good for us, and a lot of younger guys in the sophomore class are going to really step up.
The people and the bonding and everything, it's like a second family, and I really like it.
I come back each year just because the people are always really good. Everyone's really supportive of each other. Like, it's not a very easy sport at all. Everybody supporting each other and being positive always makes it worth it.
We wish the best of luck to the team as they begin their 2020 season.
Well, it looks like we have arrived to the finish line for our first broadcast of the 2020-21 school year. I'm Gabriel.
And I'm Damon. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time for N3.